Greetings, what is up? And welcome to this completely unannounced preview of the Purgatori Chastity Kickstarter campaign. That's right, this is Brian Pulido coming at you from the 90s with less hair, but the same attitude. Right here, right now, let's take a look at what we're offering in part on this cool campaign. This campaign goes off on Kickstarter on September 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be a humdinger. Like many of the campaigns we're associated with, there's going to be some freebies offered. So for the first 66 hours of the campaign, all backers of physical rewards are going to receive a free Purgatori trading card and a free Chastity trading card. Both of these images have not been portrayed as cards before, and they're beauties. Where do you see the artist? We'll announce them soon. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Want to welcome everybody to the stream. What's up, Sworn Nation? Let's freaking go. Heck yeah. What's up, Solomon, etc. All right, again, here we take a look. So let me talk about basics. What we're doing here with our friends at Dynamite is presenting the Chaos Comics Library. This is an ambitious 4 campaign over the course of 2 years where we bring back to life all of the 90s Chaos Comics stories in omnibus format. When we're done, it'll be over 6,250 pages, all about that Chaos Comics universe of the 90s, which I was the very proud publisher of. It's been a delight working with Dynamite. It's been soulful and fun, and reconnecting with all the material has been awesome, really awesome. So on this stream, if you have any questions about the Evil Ernie campaign, let us know. We are deep. Let me give you a status. We are deep into production. We are very likely to be going into formal pre-production for printing around mid-September. We are pulling the last of the assets together, some of the back cool stuff that goes in the back. All the products, other products are ready to go. So we believe our timing is still solid for February 2027 delivery. We've learned a lot. This is an ambitious project. With Evil Ernie, that's over 1,500 pages. We learned a lot, and we've applied what we've learned to Purgatori Chastity to get ahead, etc., etc. All right. Feel free to ask questions. Let's see. We give you the Jim Ballant, Al Rio, of course. Fantastic. Great. It's so great to go down this memory lane. And if you're watching this and you don't know what's going on, here's the deal. In the 90s, there was this crazy hard rock and heavy metal comic book company that dared to be insane, and that was Chaos Comics. And we published supernatural stories of the highest, most insane order. So basically nothing's changed. It's the same wonderful, fun stuff, very hot, wet, excited, emotional, bigs ups and big downs. But this Purgatori Chastity campaign is focusing on our vampires. So let's take a closer look at what we're looking at. This is mock-ups of the main editions. So the main editions have the black background, and if you're able to see more details, and it's probably difficult, we're going to have the Purgatory Unk as the background and the Chastity theater faces, happy, sad. This is a mock-up in a comparable size of what it will look like, front and back, front featuring Ballant art on this volume 1, along with the Dorian Cleavanger gorgeous painting in the back. Volume 2, boom, Al Rio, rest in peace, you magnificent artisan. And on the back, I believe that is Romano Molinar. Chastity will be 1 volume, and the front cover is by Peter Vale. And the back cover is by Peter Vale. Beautiful work. Now on the Evil Ernie spine, up here where we say Chaos Library, Ernie had blood drips. But since we're dealing with vampires, we're going for fangs. So each set will have a different visual cue. These are the main editions. I believe they're going to be the same retail price as the previous mains, which are about $80. And let's be honest, this is an introductory price. I think when and if these eventually hit comic shops and other retail, I know that the SRP is somewhere in the range of 100 at least. It's just real, right? Okay, let's see here. Fingers crossed for a Purgatory only collection omnibus. We will not see that. We are grouping these characters together, and those 3 main editions will fit in this particular slipcase. This is a mock-up also, but there you get to see the whole sense of it, the flavor of it. So next up, for the discerning collector, we're offering a signed special edition. Some of the differences will include different colored ribbon markers, different colored gilding, and inside will be a signed Chaos Skull bookplate, signed by yours truly and numbered. I think historically on the Ernie, we did these limited to 666, so something in that range. Covers by Ballant, Romano Molinar, and Ed Venice. Wow, love it. Yep. And back cover mock-up, Scott Lewis art, spine, each approximately 500 pages. I think the Purgatories might come a little bit under 500, but the Chastity comes over. I think Chastity is at least 560. On the Romano, we're seeing another beautiful Al Rio piece, and this was colored by Brian Rood. It's kind of cool. Brian Rood, now a superstar. And the back cover here is by Mike Waringo. Rest in peace, Mike. So those will be the signed specials. They will also have their own exclusive slipcase, because that's what we're doing now, and have the red theme, art by Ballant, art by Ed Venice. But I'd also like to point out to you that the spine art will differentiate each other. So found imagery from the Purgatori Chastity crossover, and that's how those would look together. So that's that. Then for the ultra discerning collector, we are going to have the Super Deluxe Edition. So the Super Deluxe Edition features another Ballant cover. Now look, I have no apologies. Jim Ballant rules, man. This dude is a king. It's amazing to work with him on theater on Vampire's Myth. And I just got to put these covers on. It's beautiful. So Ballant, I think we're featuring again the one, the only Al Rio and Peter Vale. Back covers. Now what's going to distinguish this one is this is going to be the lowest print run of the omnibus. We'll also feature a custom bookplate, which I think is in the form of the Chaos Shield, and beautiful art in the back by Joyce Chin. And you'll notice the purple theme. So when we get to the Super Deluxe editions, each character is going to have their own custom color they're most commonly associated with. Evil Ernie was green. The ladies here, I'm saying violet. Lady Death we know is going to be blue. It's Lady Death. And then the Chaos Universe will be decided, revealed in the future. Back cover here by Ivan Reis, one of the founders of Ghost Machine, and a great collaborator during the Chaos Comics era, probably that was the artist on Lady Death for over 6 years. So let me see if there's any questions. Questions answered. Are there going to be deluxe? There you go. Tell us about the possibility of reviving those old stories. So the omnibus is reviving the old stories, but are you saying you want to see new material of those characters because they haven't been in print for a while? If that's your question, let me know. Yo, this is a Kickstarter dream come true. Warrior Demon Dante, thank you. Okay, so this is not going to be a whole and complete preview because look, we want you to sign up right now. Go to Kickstarter, search term Purgatory, and sign up. You will be notified when we launch. You're going to get a goodie upon launch, and then it'll be a nice reminder to back that campaign quick so that you can get those free cards. Now, there's going to be a little more to it, but that's the starter. Now, we have some other items you'll notice already associated with the campaign. Official prints by Al Rio, Jim Ballant. Do you guys remember Armando Huerta, Dorian Cleavanger, and Al Rio? And there'll be the official print set for Chastity, including art by Peter Vale, Scott Lewis, Peter Vale, and Peter Vale. I'm sorry, Ed Venice. And this is Brian Rood. These are just beautiful images. Now, Coffin Comics reignited the challenge coin trend in comics, and we wanted, who doesn't want coins for Chastity and Purgatory? So feast your eyes on them. There's a beautiful Purgatory coin, front art by Jim Ballant, backed by Al Rio, and a Chastity coin by both pieces of art by Peter Vale. They'll be available for $25 a piece on the campaign. And then Solomon saying the art looks fire. That's right. So another element of this campaign I'd like to show you is we are definitely doing battle jackets in a patch set. You're going to have to get the battle jacket on your own, but that's no big deal. Just get a Levi's trucker jacket. Usually get it in a size smaller than you used to. Cut off the arms and you're in business. So name patch saying vampire, some square patches, some coffin shapes, and then here's the back patch. It says Purgatory at the top, and it has a beautiful image by Al Rio, and that is for Purgatory. Chastity is also getting a patch set. Her nameplate says Fang and features art by Adriana Batista Scott Lewis, another Adriano, I think, and that's Brian Rude. Back by Ed Bennis, and then Chastity at the top. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, but again, let me just rock out the basics. This campaign launches on Kickstarter on September 10th at 6 p.m. That is a Thursday. We will have a launch party, and it's likely to be vampire themed, and it's very, very likely that Purgatory herself will be at the party. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So let's see here. Yo, this Kickstarter's dream come true. People are happy about challenge coins. Is it a possibility for there to be new stuff with these characters? That is something that we're exploring. So I think, let me put it to you this way. It's a heck of a lot more possible than it was 2 years ago. So let's say it that way. October Country Comics asked, would you consider the soundtrack for Purgatory and Chastity respectfully? I would, well, that's very good. I think, both of these are classic characters. So Chastity has that punk rock background. So she's going to have a soundtrack that's filled with New York and UK punk music. Sex Pistols, The Clash, The Damned, Buzzcocks, The Ramones, that would be that. Now, Purgatory is more elevated. I think we would have to find some, if it exists, classical Egyptian music, and maybe we throw some like hard rock, heavy metal guitar through it. What do you think of that? I don't know if that exists. Let's go find it. Casket Crew says, I'm totally backing this Kickstarter. You took me back to the best time ever. I got to tell you, Casket Crew, it was great. Remember those days, man? I had hair down to here, took new prisoners. It was a blast. Absolutely fantastic. Now, each one of these omnibus is going to feature 16 pages of the secret history of the creation of Purgatory and Chastity. So you'll have that in the back. It'll be a lot of fun. And I am happy to answer any further questions. But above all, what I want you to know is we're having a blast doing these. We're hard at work on them. You will, in the coming weeks, you're going to see some videos from us reliving some of the history. You will also see the official campaign video, which we shot some weeks ago, and more surprises. So if you know any chaos person, lapsed chaos person in your life, can you please do me a favor? It'd be a big favor. I would appreciate it greatly. Just let them know that this campaign is coming. Just go to Kickstarter itself, search term Purgatory. Now, I hear there might be a question. Oh, okay. We're going to show you the campaign. Let's jump on that campaign page. So this is a pre-launch sign-up page. Right now, we have 600 people signed up, but we would love to have 1,200 before we launch. And yeah, we have about a month to go, maybe 3 weeks at this point. Beautiful Ivan Reese art. If we keep scrolling, you get to see some of the other stuff. Here's some of preamble, some of the beautiful pages. That's Romano Molinar. What a beauty of a page. And then some background on the characters for those of you who don't know. I call Purgatory an Egyptian vampire goddess who feeds the blood on the blood of gods. And then Chastity I look at as a punk rock vampire assassin. So there's some pages from her work as well. So this is the second Chaos Comics Kickstarter. And look, you may know this, you may not. Hell froze over. I settled all my differences with Nick Barucci, who is the owner of Dynamite. Dynamite is the largest singularly owned comic book company in North America. Very, very successful at what they do. Nick and I are very old friends who go way back. We had a couple of differences. I am here to say that they are resoundingly resolved from, gosh, about a year and a half ago at this point, and we are just house on fire, making things for you to consider. Some cool stuff coming up we'll talk about, particularly in this representation space, some fun stuff to bring. Let's hear. Peter says, I'm late, but I'm here. What's up, Swear Nation? What's up, Peter Calderon? How's the East Coast? And thank you, Zach, for spreading the word. Now let's see here. Warrior Demon Dante asks, could we purchase OG issues possibly signed from these runs? Well, you won't be able to purchase them from us short term on this campaign, but stay tuned. And if you see me at a convention, I'll sign your stuff. That's what it's all about. Let's see here. Are the omnibus going to contain the original letters pages? October Country Comics, I am sorry to say they won't. This was a decision we made in terms of the length of the omnibus themselves. However, we recognize the value and the awesomeness of things like the letters pages, the catalogs, the Fiend Club newsletters. So don't be surprised if in the next year or two, you do start seeing those things show up in other ways. So do stay tuned. Let's hear. It'd be really dream come true if the Chaos Universe merged with the Coffin one. You know, Outpost, this is my thinking, is I think the Chaos Universe is a valid universe. I think the Coffin Universe is valid. And then there's the Dynamite universe of characters. So there's all these interesting universes. What I think would be interesting is to, in my personal view as a fan, would be to see the Chaos Universe reestablished, to learn what's going on in all these characters' lives, Evil Ernie, Purgatory Chastity, Lady Demon, Bedlam, Bad Kitty, what's going on? And then it would be a delight then to see, once established the status quo, then to start seeing some of the Chaos Universe and the Coffin Universe kind of interacting. What would happen? I don't know. And then I could see it even escalating further. You know, this is just a fan's dream. I really don't know what's going to happen. But then, you know, in that latter part, you know, you'd see the character, all these different characters crossing over with the Vampirellas, etc. Who knows? But who really knows, right? Chad says, Bad Kitty mentioned. I got to tell you, I love Bad Kitty. I love that character. I feel like I only got to scratch the surface. But Bad Kitty and all the other characters will be collected this time next year in the Chaos Universe Omnibus. So you could imagine everything from the Chaos Bible, Chaos Chronicles, Legend of the Sage, The Haunted, Lady Demon, Bad Kitty, the list goes on, right? Chaos Quarterly, all those have to be collected to be part of the whole universe. And just imagine in the end when we have all this stuff. Also, just for fun, I have on display some of the old school books that came out, maybe just to show guys and gals out there who may know or may not, that really we put out a fair amount of material, over close to 1,000 pages of Purgatory story and close to 550 pages of Chastity. And they were put out in all these super cool editions by very, very talented artisans. Always been really lucky and blessed with phenomenal collaborators. What cons are you attending? Is Motor City Comic Con? You know, Motor City Comic Con in Detroit is such a cool con. I have a long history of attending. Who knows what the future holds? I think it would be really fun to get out to a couple of cons in the fall. Will there be a Coffin Universe Lady Death Omnibus V2? Yes. So there will be one August of next year. This time next year will be V2, which will cover chapters 11 through 20. And since we're nearly sold out, we're very likely to reoffer volume 1 in some form or format. If Lady Death could fight Purgatory again, that's a dream, right? From myself as a fan of the stuff, that would be a real dream. You know, what would be really wild is to see Hell Witch fight Purgatory. That's fun. There's a lot of matchups out there. Bad Kitty versus La Muerta. I mean, how about like some characters reuniting? You know, Cremator. What a cool character, Cremator. What the current Lady Death, if she met the current Cremator, would they even know each other? It's the dramatic possibilities are infinite. Let's see here. Since Lady Death has been hopping dimensions, could the end of the story be she winds up in the Chaos Universe? Well, October Country Comics, that is a phenomenal concept. It's cool. It could be out there. RSE Wolf says the challenge coins rock. I love it. Chaos Universe versus Coffin Universe could be fun. Who knows, right? Let's hear. I want Hell Witch versus Purgatory. Ryan Brown, great call. So yeah, who knows, right? All this stuff could happen. I can tell you with complete honesty right now, the thing that I'm focusing on is being part of the project management of getting all these books to the printer. Big projects, bigger than we all thought, but we are rising to the occasion with Team Dynamite, really turning in a great dedicated job, really caring about how this all turns out. So let's recap. So Purgatori Chastity Omnibus, the next step in the Chaos Library, featuring the main set of editions, the signed special set of editions, the super deluxe editions. They could be bought singularly. They could be bought as a set. If you buy a set, you are going to get a slipcase for free. Also, we're having the print series, and we're having the battle jackets and the coins. But this is just the first preview. There is more to see, more to come. This is, let's see, what if Chaos teamed up with Coffin to fight a greater evil? Peter Calderon, there are so many cool greater evils. When I think back in the Chaos universe, I think of the character Armageddon. When I think of the Coffin universe, I think our big bad is Insurrectus. So who knows? I mean, the possibilities are infinite. They are two fully developed universes. Above and beyond all the characters that we know and love from the Chaos universe, how about other characters like the Omen? In those characters like Carcass. There's so many cool characters. How about supplementary characters from Evil Ernie like Autopsy, seen in the Destroyer series? I mean, the list goes on, and the mind delights and thrills at the possibility. Who really knows? But maybe with your vote, we can make it happen. Hell Witch versus Purgatory would be legendary. I could see that being pretty brutal. And current Lady Death with Evil Ernie, right? I mean, it's wild. Who knows? This is what I do know. Y'all been great. I've been Brian Pulido. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please sign up to the Kickstarter and tell your friends, tell your enemy, this Kickstarter is coming. We cannot do it without you. We do not want to sound like broken records, but let's be honest. Coffin Comics, Chaos Comics, these are cult comic book companies that the world is afraid of. So it's you guys and gals, make it real, bring it to life, and make it mighty. I want to thank you for tuning into this stream, but stay tuned. More to come. Y'all been great. I've been Brian Pulido. Holla at you later.